So recently I've been catching up on Solo Leveling Season 2, and not gonna lie, it's honestly peak. A quick flashback for the people who don't remember episodes 1 and 2. Jin-woo, his sister's friend, and a group get trapped in a red gate. They get pulled up on by some ISIL, and since one of the people in the group gets knocked off, the group leader decides to split them into two. Eventually the group leader runs back to the rest of the group, and Jin-woo just puts him to sleep after he tries to attack them. Baruka, the captain of the Ice Elf group, tries pressing Jin-woo, but him and his shadow start boxing, and long story short, Jin-woo clips Baruka, and the hunter group leader becomes his shadow. The rest of the group gets out of the gate, and that's basically it. So now that you're caught up, let's get into episode 3. Episode 3 starts with Jin-ho and Jin-woo in a dungeon where Jin-woo finally reveals his shadows to him. And in the next scene, we get shown a man. Now I would wait, but let's be honest, if you've already watched the episode, you would know that this man is Sung Il-hwan, Jin-woo's dad. A little bit later in the episode, Jin-woo finally decides to go back to the demon castle to get the items he needs to make the elixir of life. Meanwhile, we see Jin-ho talking to his father about taking over his guild. His father tells him that he can take over, but he needs to recruit Jin-woo first. In the next scene, we see Cha Hae-in, and not gonna lie, the animators knew exactly what they were doing because I actually don't remember the scene from the manga at all. Jin-woo starts climbing up the castle, and he was literally frying every enemy he ran into until he got to level 50, which had him fighting an army of orcs and a Vulcan. Now, if you haven't watched the episode, you would think that the Vulcan is slow, but it quite literally flash steps to Jin-woo's shadows. Jin-woo jumps out from the smoke and booms him. So now the Vulcan is hot and starts running straight towards Jin-woo. Iron throws his shield to Jin-woo so he can block the Vulcan's attack, and the Vulcan starts going stupid with his club. Jin-woo finds an opening, throws the shield, jumps up, and before he can hit the Vulcan literally uses future sight and reads Jin-woo's move. Jin-woo starts running up a building, summons his other dagger, and slices the Vulcan. Back in the city, Jin-woo's dad is being interrogated by Dong-suk, the older brother of the guy Jin-woo folded last season. He keeps pressing Jin-woo's dad and says that Jin-woo is dead, and Il-hwan isn't having it at all. Meanwhile, Jin-woo is still climbing the demon castle and defeats Metis, the guide of souls. In the next scene, we see that Dong-suk got banged up by Il-hwan. Jin-woo decides to stop climbing and gets a mysterious key with no info, and that's basically it for episode 3. In the next episode, Jin-woo decides that it's time for him to get his rank reassessed so he can do higher ranked gates. When he gets to the place to get his rank reassessed, they have him touch a black crystal so they can gauge his rank. And when he touches it, it gives an error. After the director enters, he says that an error means that Jin-woo is just too strong to evaluate, so he's labeled the 10th S rank in Korea. And next thing you know, Choi, the leader of the Hunters Guild, pulls up on him, but Jin-woo just ignores him. Baek, the White Tiger Guild, tries to catch up to Jin-woo, but by then he's already gone. While visiting his mother in the hospital, Jin Chol, the chief of the surveillance division, asks Jin-woo to meet the chairman Gung-hee. Long story short, the chairman asks Jin-woo to join him, but he declines and says that he wants to battle and get strong. A little bit later in the episode, Jin-woo decides that he needs artifacts so that he can be ready for the castle and decides to join a raid as a part of the mining team. Jin-woo was locked in on mining the crystals until everybody left. He goes to the entrance of the boss room and gets stopped by Cha Hae-in before he can enter. She tells him to leave before he gets hurt, but before he leaves, she dead walks up to him and smells him. And why was she moving so quickly to smell him? Like, what's going on? I know the saying is love at first sight, but Cha Hae-in literally fell in love with Jin-woo at first smell. I mean, you do you. But the next day, a man from a raid team asks if he can take someone from the mining team to carry their stuff. Jin-woo volunteers and they enter the gate. The team runs into high orcs and the raid team starts getting pressed by them. Before the group gets folded, Jin-woo finally steps in, but since he's using stealth, nobody notices what he's doing besides their mage. The group decides that they should leave, but a barrier appears and stops them. And while they're trying to remove the barrier, an entire army of orcs appears behind them. One of the orcs starts spazzing out and starts speaking so the group can understand. His name is Kargogan and basically says the group either has to box against the army or they go with him, and obviously the group picks to go with him. And in the next scene, look who it is, Cha Hae-in looking for Jin-woo. The group follows Kargogan and enters a palace where we see an orc sitting on the throne, and that's basically it for episode 5. If you haven't already watched episode 6, what are you doing? Because that episode is actually gas. But yeah, that's basically everything from episodes 3 through 5. If you guys want me to do another video on the other episodes in the season, let me know in the comments, because the next few episodes, especially the last few episodes of this season, are too good not to talk about. That's all I gotta say, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.